New photos of Harry Potter series sets being built, my friend. Potter. We're not getting a break. We're not getting a break because it's been one hit after another, and I'm loving it. I'm loving seeing all these photos, information, and leaks that are happening. Today, better pictures of Nicolau Flamel with Dumbledore came out. We had already talked about it in the previous episode, right?
But now we could see Flamel's characterization better.
He's got a goatee, a mustache, and a goatee, kind of like Don Quixote. You know, it reminds me of Don Quixote. And then, in these images here, you can see his costume. There are some shades of white, but it's not a pure white. White. You know, it's a white that leans toward an off-white. And there are some details, like on the buttons, some embossed details, you know? You can see in the one where he's wearing a shirt and pants without the cape, his pants are a lighter beige there. And then there's Dumbledore with him too, right? John Lithgow is with him. And we have Holly Whedon, who's the costume designer. That's the one behind him here. Adjusting the costume, making some tweaks, and he's reading the script. And then Nicolas Flamel. I'll quickly go through Nicolas Flamel's part here before moving on to the sets. Lambert Wilson will play him. Do you remember this guy? He was in The Matrix, and Pernell Flamel, who is Nicholas's wife, will be played by Marthe Keller. These higher quality photos from Paris Match were released today, giving us a better look. Now, let's discuss the sets. They are building these environments on this farm, at Barry Bush's farm, which is a big piece of farmland, and several images have come out. First, I want to discuss the Hogwarts greenhouses, where students have herbology classes. Look at how this greenhouse is similar, at least the structure, to the one in Hogwarts Legacy. These green iron frames and the glasswork are very similar, especially at the front of the greenhouse. You can see there's a little garden bed there, right? Fenced off, where there are some little plants and all. It also reminds me of the magical creatures care area in Hogwarts Legacy, where little creatures are fed. But here it has nothing to do with that, it's really herbology. And then you see there are these little plants outside. Look, in the front, and the back part of the greenhouse, which I really liked, has some branches climbing up like this. There's a little area that's like a small house, right? A little part at the back of the greenhouse. And there are some branches climbing up. Man, you see people are still working there building the set, right? So, another point that came up and made me really curious was this one, where there's clearly a monument of a badger. A monument of a badger.
Look at the Hufflepuffs being really well represented, huh?
Here, I think you can see it looks like a little garden. There are some stairs. There are some little stairs here. Look, the badger is scratching itself. You can clearly see it's a badger. It's a badger scratching itself. It's made of wood, right?
There are some little trees, some bushes near it, which I believe will be like a courtyard. A garden has some stairs. There's the badger. Then behind the badger, there are some stairs that go up like this. Go up one more. And then there's a kind of open space back here. Like this, you know? I don't know if this area is going to be a connecting area to a part of the castle. Maybe it's a part of the Hogwarts garden that has an entrance to another area there. And man, this thing about the badger, about having the badger, it really reminded me of the Harry Potter games, where in the courtyards, there were bushes shaped like the Hogwarts house animals. Like those plants, you know, that are trimmed into shapes. Yeah, like in the old games. So it really reminded me of that. Man, it really reminded me of that. I don't know what it could be. This is definitely a place in Hogwarts. There wouldn't be a badger otherwise. It's probably an area that connects different parts, you know? If we have this badger one, we'll likely get ones for the other houses too, right?
Maybe there are animal sculptures representing the house mascots. I thought that was really cool.
You see a door, the badger, and some small trees near the stairs. Instead of looking at the stairs, look to the right of the screen, which is to the left of the badger.
If you look here, there's a small unfinished door opening, right?
It's still just wood and a small staircase to a hallway. Some little passageway from there. Got the idea from Hogwarts? Then we have another one. This one here, I really liked it. This one, I really liked it. This is straight out of Hogwarts Legacy, my friend. This is just like Hogwarts Legacy. This staircase here, look, there's like a hallway with arches. Man, it's really similar to Hogwarts Legacy. Really similar. Put it up there, Eric. My God, the comparison, it's really similar. There's a little staircase like this that goes down to a place with some trees there too. Like, connecting the inside of the castle with the outside of the castle. That's what it is for me. This part here is a connection between the inside and the outside of the castle. It reminded me of Hogwarts Legacy. In this area, there's also a section with rocks visible from a distance. But there are some rocks over there and all, and where those trucks are, there's a yellow truck. Something blue. Some blue things there that I believe are generators. Then there's a blue tarp on top, and some rocks there. Look, you see, I can't imagine what this is, man. This little badger thing. For me, it was amazing. It was amazing. So they're also building a house. Look, there's a house. This little house here. Look that they're even finding. Could it be Hagrid's hut? I'm not sure. Maybe it's Flamel's house with his wife, because they said they built a house for an elderly couple. Maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe this is Flamel's house and not Hagrid's hut, okay? I'm really curious about this here. People said it looks like bleachers. It looks like bleachers where the badger is. But honestly, I didn't really see bleachers.
It can't be. It could be. But I don't think it is.
Look, in this aerial shot, you can see only the badger, no other animals. See? I was thinking like, maybe it's a part of Hogwarts where there's the badger statue, and in other places there are statues of the other animals. You know, like in the school gardens maybe. Then there's this part here, the one with the staircase, kind of like a forest with that staircase. Viewed from another angle, you can see a small tower with a blue screen, which they'll likely complete with computer-generated imagery, right? This here is a part of Hogwarts, an external area that I think, judging by the environment, there are some rocks there. It could kind of lead to the Black Lake, you know? I don't know, maybe I'm imagining things. There's the little garden there, a closer look. I'll call it a garden, but it's the crops there, right? All fenced in and such. These fences here, I don't think they're fences that will be used in the series. They're just there for protection, and later they'll be removed. I don't know why it's not like that. The shiny fence and everything is set up well, right?
That appears to be production equipment. And there's a photo of an excavator shaping the environment there.
It looks like this is also going to be the Quidditch field, the Quidditch stadium. I'm really curious. I really want to see the images. The images of these finished sets, man. I'm really curious to know what it is. So, with a little more detail, we can find out. Man, a little more detail. That one from Hufflepuff, man, with the badger there. I'm sure it's like a garden in honor of Hufflepuff. This area with small trees and a badger is like a little garden. And this staircase area connects to something else. Maybe it connects to the Quidditch field, the entrance to the Quidditch field. Maybe. But the greenhouse looks a lot like the one in Hogwarts Legacy. And this staircase area too. It looks a lot like Hogwarts Legacy here. It's undeniable.
I doubt Hogwarts will have the same design as in Hogwarts Legacy, given the school's design in that game.
It's very inspired by the movie, right?
It has its differences, of course, but basically when you look at it, you say it's the Hogwarts from the movie, right? Because it has that similar design.
I think the one from the series will be different, okay? I don't think it's going to follow this design. Then here you have this part of the rock. You can see it's just a part of the rock there, where there's a tree, there's even a staff member there. It's just this part of the rock.
You can see that they're doing the painting, because there are 2 paint buckets there, exactly with the colors they're using, which is a kind of beige brown, a really earthy brown like that. You see?
This here is going to be part of something over there, you know, man? But I really love this staircase with this little hallway here. I loved it so much. It's really like Hogwarts Legacy. This environment, man, really like Hogwarts Legacy.
Now there are some other images of things that are still in a very early stage that don't have anything built yet. You know, you can see that the environment is just marked out.
So, maybe Hagrid's hut will be around here too. Maybe the burrow, the Weasley's house, will be built here, you know? And then they build everything right there. But what they also said about this place is that these are temporary sets. They're temporary sets? I don't know if temporary. They're temporary. They use them during filming, then tear them down after the series ends. Or if it's temporary, like they're only going to film this first season and then not use it anymore. I think that's really unlikely, okay? I think it's unlikely because they're investing a lot of money in this, man. Investing a lot of money. I really doubt it's something so disposable. You know, that part with the rocks, where there are several metal structures and just the rocks.
And it looks like there are just the rocks and some white parts like that.
I think this one, yes. It could be part of the outline around the Quidditch field. I think it could be part of that outline, like the Quidditch field, being kind of close to a mountain and kind of a wall like this, and having this outline.
I think this might be part of the Quidditch field's outline.
The question is, will more things be inspired by it?
Man, look at the greenhouse from Hogwarts Legacy. Dude, I'll even put here the glass part of the greenhouse structure. Greenish. With these glass panels, it's very similar. Very similar. Of course, the greenhouse in Hogwarts Legacy is much bigger.
It's really big, right? In the game, it's really big. But here, look, you can see it's not small either, man. It's big. It's pretty big too.
It's smaller than the one in the game, but it has this little entrance door and a greenhouse. Maybe they do it. They expand it with computer-generated imagery. Obviously, they do that a lot to give a sense of greater size, more spacious.
Man, I'm really curious about these images. Really curious indeed. This part here that was surrounded by plants, I'm sure there are some mandrakes there. So, look, see? There are these metal structures. They're not part of the set. They're actual structures. That's why people got a bit confused. I heard people ask, what bench? Well, maybe this top part here is, but those metal bars in the back, they're really structural. They're there to support the place, not to be part of the set or anything. I don't know. What if the Quidditch field has these elevated surroundings around it? Like, think about the Quidditch field, because in Quidditch people fly, right? This is on the ground, so it's not a good spot for people to watch. But maybe it's the Hufflepuff section, where the Hufflepuff students stay. This part is kind of up high, and then, in this corner, there's Gryffindor. In the other corner, there's Slytherin. And in the other corner, there's Ravenclaw. It makes sense. It makes sense. Just imagine. And like, if it's on a mountain, the outline is on the mountain. Like on one side. Man, it makes sense in my head. Okay? It makes sense in my head.
I really wish that when I imagine things I could draw, so you could see exactly what I'm thinking. These are the images that came out.
That house then, just to recap the house, I believe it belongs to Nicholas Flamel and his wife.
It's there. There are the greenhouses. There's not much else to say. It's really a greenhouse.
Here, this little garden where the badger is, it could be the entrance to something in the castle. A garden there at Hogwarts, part of a garden, or it could be part of the entrance to the Quidditch field. And this other part, here where there's the staircase with the corridor, it's also an internal connection. That's pretty obvious, right? An internal and external connection of Hogwarts.
There in the castle, you can see that next to the staircase, there's a little stone wall that, kind of, if you look at it, it could fit.
I'm not referring to the shape, but the colors closely match that other stone being painted over there. So, maybe this here is the way to the Quidditch field. Maybe the way to the Quidditch field. As if it were really a path. As if it were connected. As if it were real. You know? The little house? I really think it's Flamel's, not Hagrid's hut. It could be Hagrid's, but I doubt it.
It's not that I think, like, how should I say it? I think more or I think less.
I think it's more likely to be Flamel's house than Hagrid's hut, I think. And it's a big space, right?
It's a really big space. Soon, someone will have to fly a drone up there so we can see more stuff, man, soon. But what about you? What do you think? Which one do you think it is? Each environment here? Of course it's not defined, because greenhouse, you can't say greenhouse, because it really is a greenhouse. So, tell me here what you think, remembering that there's no wrong opinion. Mono, we're in this phase of just guessing. I think it's this, I think it's that. We don't have anything for sure. The greenhouse over there, that's obvious, it's a greenhouse, but the rest is just guessing.
Mono, share your thoughts here. What do you think it is? And let's discuss.
I'll enjoy reading your comments here, with your opinions about these open spaces we saw today.
And did you see there's a tree inside the greenhouse? Did you see the last comment? Did you see there's a tree inside the greenhouse?
A really big one, right there in the middle, and in the Hogwarts Legacy greenhouse. There's a tree too. There's a really big tree. It's a tree with pink leaves. Okay, but it's still a tree. Look, there's a really big tree. See? There's also a green leaf tree. Look, with a nice little pond around it. Cool. Really cool. I hope they follow the game closely, because it's beautiful. Hogwarts Legacy could be amazing if they really use its potential. There was even some news about that a while ago, right? That they really intended to make it kind of similar, to mix things up. Just imagine, Hogwarts Legacy 2 gets announced, and then, like, 100 years after the first game, which would already be around Harry's time.
But I wouldn't like it. I don't think I would like it. I don't know.
I really like the vibe of Hogwarts Legacy, being able to create a character and explore.
Not being a character from the story, like Harry or Ron. You know, I really like being a character that you shape as if it were yourself. So that's it. Thanks for watching.
See you in the next episode of Leaky Cauldron, and until then, mischief managed.